before we go into our sprint planning today. The last two steward sessions, I thought we would get to it. It didn't happen, but now we're going to get to it. And that's just talking about the critical to hatch issues. So I had originally thought we would do it this way, but on the plane here, I thought there's actually a different way that we should do it. We should just brainstorm all of the critical to commons upgrade issues and not worry about what working group they go into yet. And then we can figure out how to divide that work and make sure that it ends up on the sprint board. So on the link to, in our agenda here is a link to the TEC roadmap board. And I'm just going to get set up very quickly. Sort of zoom in over here. Hold on. Just things that absolutely have to happen before the commons upgrade. So must have. And then we'll have another section with things which would be nice to have, but might not be completely required. So yeah, there may be some things that fit into that category. All right. So for example, the things that I started thinking about today that have to be done before the commons upgrade were the key decisions and proposals that we need to make. So I'm going to just start. I don't know if you guys want to jump in too, but so key proposal. And there's really the initial buy. And if you want to, if you have, like, maybe we can go round robin and we can go through everyone and you could say, what are the issues in your working group or that you're aware of that are critical to the commons upgrade? Either must have, or it would be really nice if we could do it. But if we don't do it, we could still do the commons upgrade. And I'll pass to Griff first, actually, because I feel like you'll have plenty.
Yeah, I have like so many. I mean, basically both of my working groups have to be finished before we can do the commons upgrade technically. So we've got to get the dashboard done. I mean, I was going to start typing them up. I just got in the Miro. My internet's low. But
okay, maybe we do that then. Do you want to? Yeah, maybe we'll do that then, and then we'll go through them. I just see that no one else is in the board with me, so I was going to start calling on people to go. Hey, Olivia, welcome back! Yay, it's so good to see you. So great to see you.
yay.
No, it's great to be back.
So maybe I'll even put all these key proposals. I was thinking about the 75% governance, and I was thinking, oh, we don't have to have that before the commons upgrade. In theory, we could vote after. And then I checked myself and realized, no, it absolutely has to happen. We have to vote before the commons upgrade, because after the commons upgrade will be not hatchers. They will. So it's really a hatcher decision, not a hatcher plus anyone else who buys TECH tokens decision. So,
do you have any news on the technical side, Griff?
No. They we delayed it until Wednesday, Thursday, Wednesday. I don't know. I have to look at the calendar. Someday next week.
Yeah, I think that
Brett didn't. Yeah.
Yeah,
At least
that thing of the technical solution is like a bottleneck for this voting. I don't know. I think there should
I
be
really
more.
want to avoid that framing. I hate that framing. I don't think it's a bottleneck at all. I feel like the macro decision is, do we want to do it? And I haven't actually gotten a signal from the community on whether or not we even want to do it, no matter what the technical solution is, you know? Because the technical solution, if can be added in various ways, but like do they want to give these people governance tokens or not? Like, that's what I would really love to focus it on that, because that's something we can answer. And the technical solution is like, it's kind of like, should the community be deciding what courses you put in the gravity training? I just don't think so, you know, like, we should be able to figure out the right technical solution without the community, but honestly.
Okay, that's very interesting. Yeah, I have like my interconflict with that, because yeah, I also understand that this is something that affects like the community, but yeah, you're right that the important thing is to vote on the 75% governance give back.
Yeah, because if they vote no, then it's moot anyway, and we probably won't do anything.
Okay.
Which is great news, because it sounds like we can go forward with the yes/no vote. And we probably should go forward with that. Does that sound good to you, Juan Carlos?
Well, we could have a yes/no vote, yes, and I will try to then focus on the side of only the governance side. The governance.
Yes, with that being said, voting procedures should be on this sprint.
I think we're going to have a session about that on Monday with Septi.
Cool. So voting procedure, who's doing voting procedure?
But I think for those votes, it should be weighted voting because it's what the DAO does, right? So let's do what the DAO does, and that will give us better signaling.
Yeah, but I mean, like, there should be rules around, like, you know, if it has to pass the 88% threshold through snapshot before it's even considered on-chain type of transaction. So, like, I think we should map everything out in terms of what types of voting to use when, and there's going to be multiple rounds with the proposals of the Commons configuration dashboard. So there's a bunch of different things that need to be discussed. So I think that should definitely be on the docket, though.
Are you
So-
guys going to have a session about that on Monday, you said? I would like to be
Yeah.
into.
Yeah, it's actually Ivy made a calendar. Yeah, it's on the calendar.
And I do think that should be critical to hatch so we can avoid any type of misconception of how the voting procedure works, as we did with the hatched out vote, Param votes.
So this is something, I'm also looking on the calendar on Monday.
I don't see anything there.
I don't see it either. Is it an open invite or is it certain people?
It's an open invite. It's Transparency Work Sesh. That's the title of the calendar.
On Monday? Hold on.
Yeah. 2 p.m. CET.
Oh, is it for the following Monday? Like not this one, the other one?
This Monday on September 6th.
I'll show you what I see. So this is the TEC calendar.
I don't know why it's not showing.
Okay, cool, no problem. Okay, and so
Okay,
that's cool.
Oh, wait. I think I made a mistake. Okay. It should be there now.
And maybe it'd be a great idea if we could just drop an invite on the Stewards channel or on the community channel. So
Okay.
I guess other people know what's happening too. I know we do throw meetings and then maybe forget to make them so publicized.
And maybe if there is going to be a lot of engagement, maybe we can also change the time. I feel like 2 a.m., for example, for Libby would be too early. So, yeah, maybe when we go on transparency, since there is an issue there, we can discuss the hour, the time.
Yeah, we can move it to a later time.
Okay. Maybe we'll start going around the board and seeing if people are ready for I mean, if everyone's ready to plan the sprint, and as things become, as we note that things are critical path, we can drop them on the Miro board. Maybe we'll sort of do the two at the same time. So I'll go just through the retrospective actions from the retrospective, which is everyone should participate at least once per week in the forum. Really, the message here is like participate more in the forum. Although I do have to say, even though this was the winning action, I really feel like the forum has a life now. You know, it used to be really dead, but now it's alive. So I actually really like to see that, even though I'm definitely one of the people who aren't making enough time to participate. It just takes a lot of time to read and write at all. And then reminders, one issue, one assignee, and don't overload 3 to 4 hours. And really our focus today is critical to Commons upgrade. So those are the things we are most, I'll say, concerned with this sprint. Other things too, but I think between now and hitting that upgrade, that's going to be our full focus. So maybe we start with transparency, because I know you guys are usually have everything.
Yeah.
You guys want to go through what you have for this sprint? I'll bring the repeating in.
Yeah. Well, we saw today like Suga and one contributor like the price board message is misleading. Like it's still talking about impact hours in the hatch. So yeah, maybe we should change it, and Ivy is going to lead it, and yeah, we can work together, of course. But she's leading it, and then yeah, also we're going to work on the type of vote of the snapshot. Like ideally, like Nate was saying before, like have a structure. But the first thing it would be, I'm thinking like doing, I don't know, yeah, maybe if we are in a hurry, maybe we cannot do it like we did with the code of conduct for audits for admins. But yeah, the idea is to get all the type of votes and when to use when, and be clear with the community. I feel like when to use when is more like a soft task, like it's because it's governance, but make it available to the community so everyone understands its transparency. So I think, yeah, we should collaborate on that.
Which issue am I looking at, Septimus?
It's documentation on type of snapshot voting. It's target as next sprint.
Okay. Okay.
But I mean, it's not. Maybe it's not well formulated. I'm not sure like if we're going to have like all the type of voting, everything is structured and ready on Gitbook for this next sprint. But we certainly are going to work on this. So maybe I don't know if we should tackle with the next sprint, but definitely it's something like prioritized for us this sprint. So it's something we're going to work so hard. And then also Mitch is leading the treasury management. We also started to talk with the Agave team. There are some technical things that are still not I mean, their money is heading by a multisig, so of course we don't want to put the money on a multisig. They are working to upgrade to a gardens, but yeah, the really important thing for me with the treasury management is like we do not create privileged positions and bureaucrats. So yeah, my intention there is to be close to Mitch and see how it works, do some research on how other DAOs work, and yeah, and try to make a. I really I know like everyone, well not everyone, but some work like there is some thinking behind making a working group. I'm really against that. And Sean had a very good idea today on the legal call, having like a Discord room to chat about it, a forum section. Of course, like we can go and chat on the voice channel, but I really think we should not have a steward for the treasury management. But yeah, that's my thinking. So I'm really working on how to to see how other DAOs does it, and especially like the successful ones, and have something ready for this sprint would be nice. And yeah, and Mitch is talking with the Agave to make like the first proposal.
Yeah, I mean, from my point of view, it sounds like what we're really doing is like a feasibility study now. We're just trying to understand what's possible and what's best of the possibilities, which one will be best for the TEC.
Yeah.
So
yeah.
it sounds like you guys are starting work in that direction, which is great.
Yeah, exactly. And yeah, I think that's it for transparency. I feel it a lot actually. So yeah.
Yeah, it definitely is. Hey, I see you here. Sanjay, is there anything in legal, and is there anything that is critical to the Commons upgrade?
There's not too much, nothing critical for the upgrade. We just, as Septi mentioned, I just got back from the previous days I was off. We just confirmed that we closed the legal discussions on the covenant, which I just closed. And we also closed the discussions on the treasury for the subgroups. And we had a long discussion today on the legal meeting concerning the legal implications of the treasury if we ever decide to do anything with the treasury. We ended up, Sean is going to create an initial draft document, and whatever we end up deciding as a DAO, even if we decide not to do anything with the treasury because of the governance implications make it hard, or we consider that it's not the best way to move forward, we think that it should be included in our documents. So anyone that joins later on and may pose this question may have an answer to that questions if we decide not to do anything. So that's that. I already added the issue, and it's not critical, but we just open it up.
There were some legal documents, like when people make proposals and such, that like their terms and conditions or something like that, right? I assume that they need to be formatted for the common swarm to post.
The proposal, there was a proposal legal document that we created. Yeah, we should take a look at that. I think that's probably finished, but yeah, let's create an issue there and make sure that everything's fine. And if not, we just can finish it up. That's probably the only critical stuff that I may think of for the commons.
Do we need terms and conditions? Do we need terms and conditions when people enter the bonding curve?
I haven't about that. Well, I can think about it with Sean. Yeah, just post it. Yeah, just let's create the issue, and at least let's think about it.
Is it this issue 245, terms and conditions for convert? I don't know what that means.
Yeah,
ABC.
That's what we call the bonding curve interface.
Let me see. Is this the issue?
Yeah.
It's really, really old, isn't it? So
yeah.
I mean, I don't know. Should I put anything else in there, or maybe I'll just drag it into our sprint?
Yeah, just drag it.
Yeah,
and we create a label for critical for the upgrade. Just we will add that as a label also.
We got it.
Yeah, I mean,
okay.
I think we just need to at least look at interface with a person and see if we
Mhm.
need terms and conditions somewhere, you know? And I think the two big ones are the bonding curve and voting, but I can't even think of other interfaces. Does anyone else have any other interfaces directly with our applications? Cool.
No, because when we
The form,
when we transfer any amount of money when a proposal passes, that's gonna be done directly from the DAO management, right?
Yeah,
So
they don't have to withdraw it. Or,
right.
Okay, Santi, I have two legal discussions on treasury.
That's
8.2 and 8.
the one that you're looking at is working groups that can be closed.
Okay.
But that's treasury for the working groups. The one I opened it up was treasury for the whole DAO, which we started discussing today.
Got it. Awesome. Yeah, I'll leave that one open. DAO treasury legal discussions.
Mhm.
Okay. Great. There's also the terms and conditions for conviction voting proposals.
That's the one that Griff was mentioning, and yeah, leave that open and probably move it as critical for upgrade.
Oops. And then this new TNC for receiving funds. I'm not even sure what that is. I forgot.
Let me check that one.
It was in the icebox.
PNC for receiving funds.
Oh,
That was what. Yeah,
funds.
that was what I was asking Griff. I don't think we need anything for that, because it's going to be the DAO that's going to send the funds, so we can close that one. There was an initial, not even a discussion, but we pointed out something on legal today. I just wanted to just put it on discussion today. What may happen if we ever do something as a DAO and we have a revenue stream out of doing any action? All right, we may discuss that on legal, but that's something we have to take care of, because it's not going to be coming from the bonding curve. It will be coming directly from whatever action we do.
What is the question?
Well, we just want to discuss what are the legal implications of doing any action, the DAO doing any action that ends up being creating a revenue stream. No matter if it's a temporary revenue stream or a continuous revenue stream.
I think that's part of the treasury discussions, isn't it? I mean, that'll come up certainly as part of treasury management.
Well, for me, treasury management is more dealing with the amount of money we have in the DAO.
And how to use it wisely.
Put it in right, right. This other question is more about how do we deal from the legal standpoint? How do we deal with a revenue stream that gets created from something that the DAO is doing? Let's say we provide consultancy for other DAOs to create, and they pay for it. They pay for that service. That's going to be a direct, revenue coming into the DAO, which is not coming from any of the, standard procedures, which is the, the taxing that we're going to be having on the bonding curve and stuff like that.
Yeah, I see what you're saying. I mean, it's a good discussion for legal to have. Is it something you want to include?
Yeah.
And then just to go back to the issue about the terms and conditions for receiving funds, I am closing the issue, but I'm just leaving a note in and tagging Livia just to keep in mind, like this is probably something from SoftGov, I think, like a social agreement with the proposals that are receiving funds. It doesn't have to be legal, but it's something I think that we would still have reputation or something like that. We would have a way to escalate if we think that the funds aren't being used the way that they were meant to be or such.
Okay.
All right, legal, good. Anything else?
Not that I can think of, but I'll definitely add it if it comes to my mind.
Okay. Do you want to add that one issue? Are you at a space where you can add that issue
Which one?
for DAO and
The,
issue revenue streams and legal implications?
that one I'll leave it on the backlog.
Oh, but it's not here yet. Oh, you added it already. No.
No, it's not there. I think it's not there.
Oh, I was asking you if you can open that issue.
Yeah,
And then
I will open it up.
and I'll move on. All right. Griff, do you want to go now or do you want to some more time? You're ready. Let's jump in.
Yeah. I mean, there's no shortage of shit I gotta do. It's like the Params is obviously the biggest blocker. We have to continue to do user testing on the dashboard and get it done so people can vote for like a month. And we can collectively design our economy, our choice. But we got to build the tools. And then when we'll be also running the Param parties and making sure that everything's really fun and exciting and awesome. And then I think once that's done, Params is done. I mean, then it's nothing else is critical to hatch. But as far as this, wait, are we talking critical to hatch now? I wasn't watching your screen. Are you just asking what happened for this week?
No, we're talking what's going into the sprint and what are all
Okay,
the critical to hatch that we can identify at this point. So yeah, two things at the same time. Oh, the first thing is like what's going into the sprint, and then as we're going, what's critical to hatch?
I mean, everything Params is doing is critical to hatch. We're basically done before the hatch is out. So this sprint though, oh yeah, I didn't tag any of these next sprint. Nate, do you know what the goal is for the effective supply? That post, that forum post. Nate, you're muted. I don't know if you're there. Well, let's put that into this sprint for Nate because I think that we need to get that one out. There it is.
Sorry about that. So the minimum effective supply one.
Mhm.
Yeah, I think that's the last one left, right?
I think so too. And it should be a really easy one. It might be a fun one to delegate if you know someone who wants to do it. Because it's a really easy one.
Okay.
If they've ever conviction voting.
Yeah.
And then QA on the lockup, QA, almost all the QA ones except for the bonding curve, and all of the dev ones except for the bonding curve. Well, actually, no, we won't finish it. I hope we finish it, but I don't want to commit to finishing it. So all of the QA ones except for the bonding curve, and all of the dev ones except for the bonding curve.
Okay, all QA except for bonding curve.
Yeah, except for ABC.
Mm-hmm.
And all dev except for ABC. And we'll have our third release. We'll probably, oh yeah, you know what? We will release the ABC. There's like a config dashboard fourth release and third release. Yeah, those two.
I don't see the fourth release. Oh, here.
And actually make actual CAD models. That one should be done this sprint too. Yeah, this is going to be a good sprint for closing a lot of these. Because, yeah, I'm excited. Though I'm hoping that we can have the dashboard done for the token freeze and thaw, the disputable, DAO voting and conviction voting this sprint, and have them all tested and everyone's happy. And then the bonding curve will be the last one we have to clean up because it's a little complicated.
Okay.
So,
okay. We don't have to talk timelines here, but just as I was thinking about sort of params and like the critical, like the interdependencies between params and comms and the other working groups, let's say the dashboard is ready, and then there's some number of days for community members to UAT and to incorporate fixes. And then there's the campaigns to let people know that the dashboard is almost ready. Some sort of like campaign around here are the next dates for the votes. Then there's some amount of time for the primaries, all the debates that we'll be hosting, some amount of days for the runoff, the debates that we'll be hosting, and then a few days to test and implement, and then a launch. So very high level, ignore these dates, but like that's the sequence of events that will bring us to the Commons upgrade. And then we can sort of flesh these out. Okay. That's going to sort of be my starting.
Perfect.
Okay. All right. Then not all of that's in here yet, but it will be this sprint. It will all be in here. What is Commons? Do you want to do anything for Commons?
Yeah, the Commons Swarm. We'll have Brett's review this next week.
Right.
And yeah, I labeled them. Yeah, and there's also talking with Vocdoni and OneHive about development support. Yeah, everything here is critical. Oh, except for ABC stats page design, we can launch without that.
All right. Take one off the list. Cool.
It would be cool to have, but we don't need it. So yeah, and so we'll explore the bonding curve modification this sprint. My goal with that is to appeal to authorities to talk some sense into SEM. Because I think that we can add it, but so I have to go get the people who wrote this smart contracts, because he said even if Brett thinks it's okay, it's not enough. So, but he did say that he would consider it if Billy and Olivier, who wrote the actual smart contracts, think it's okay. And talking with Vocdoni and OneHive. I'll be talking with Vocdoni next weekend, not tomorrow, but the weekend after, and then OneHive in Denver.
All right, awesome. Wow, those went very quick. Cool. Juan Carlos, would you like to go ahead?
Okay, Tam. Well, I just before this call, I closed some issues, like write a blog post for the next Graviton training, and yeah, I wrote some advances on the promote and start the NBC Study Club. This is a new one. And this is because as the Graviton training is going to happen on Tuesdays after Soft Cup, the time slot after Thursday's community call will be used to have NBC Study Club. And the initial proposal is to have these calls on the DAO Book Club server, so that after the TEC community calls, the TEC server is available for making spotlights for proposal and projects. The initial date suggested is to start the 23rd September, and I assigned myself and Nate to do this because he's coordinating the spotlights and he's admin of the DAO Book Club. And
this one is a dupe. They seem to be the same. So I'm going to close this one because it's a dupe of 888.
Oh, yeah, maybe when I tried to post it, it told me that it had an error, so maybe it posted it twice.
Oh, good. Well, you got the lucky 888.
Yes, I was thinking that. And yeah, finishing the second Graviton training study plan, I think that the study plan is ready. We finished it yesterday, but the next move is to post it on the forum. And I think I could do it this weekend or starting the next week. And I didn't go to the legal call of today, but I don't know how are they on the code of conduct for admins. I gave like my comments on the document, but I don't know how are they right now. Can someone that went to the call tell me how are they on that, on the code of conduct for admins? Okay.
Was it discussed in the legal call today? Santi or Griff or Olivia, were you guys in the legal today? No.
Can you repeat
No.
the question?
If you talked about the code of conduct for admins.
Yeah, actually, it's finished, and the idea is to Libby or probably Libby or someone in Software get a read and give it a go, and then we can add it to the Gitbook. And it would be so good if you Juan could add sanctions for blocking, especially the forbidden ones. But it's not. I mean, it will not block it to go into the Gitbook, but it would be good.
Okay.
Yeah, the legal is done with it, but it'd be good if you take a look at it and you can add anything you want from the
Yeah,
IT standpoint.
I read it and made some comments, but we'll try to see what else can I do on that. So yeah, I can put it on sprint backlog. The making the POAPs, that's very advanced. I think that the only thing that we're missing, because we have the designs and we have the events created, we are only missing to integrate the bot with the server and like make the passwords so that people can claim their POAPs. And make a long-term gravity roadmap. We're also working on that, and sync with comms for more engagement in the TC lounges and Graviton training. There are some things that we still need to do. And for the 75% governance give back, I have one idea, and I am going to post it here in the Zen Hub before posting it in the forum to have some advice process, because I was thinking that maybe we could have like multiple alternatives, and like that way we can somehow have the vote like considering multiple paths that people can have on and dividing the two aspects of the vote that are like the governance side and the technical solution. So yeah, I am going to post my ideas in the issue, so that if they are okay, I will post it in the forum. I think that's it.
Cool. There's also a new tag called proposals, because we've accumulated so many proposals and they don't neatly fit into any working group specifically. So now we can sort of track them by proposals. You know, my thoughts about the 75% governance, I think you did raise the suggestion before of maybe looking at some sort of alternatives. And I really, the feedback at that time that resonated most with me is this is what was voted on in the original proposal, the make no changes proposal. And I do feel like rather than making it more complicated, we should be trying to make it less complicated and should just stick with what was voted by the community and see if we did, or it was said in the proposal, it was Griff's proposal. We did say that it would come to a vote later in the community. And I think that the time is to do the vote, but not to then change the parameters of what we're voting on, just to keep with what we said we would vote on. That's my feedback, but by all means.
Yeah, I think I was like blocking it in a little bit in my mind, but I am going to try to like give it a twist on my understanding, and yeah, I am going to have an advice process and like continuous talking to look how would be the best way to handle this, and yeah, go forward with it.
Okay. Is that all from Gravity? It's a lot, so I hope you say yes.
Yes, and hopefully we will start the Graviton training, and the NBC book club also goes well.
And the graviton training isn't actually an issue, is it? No. Okay.
No,
If you open it up and make it repeating, we could drop it into the sprint and keep it going until the end of the training.
okay, I will do it.
Yeah. Liviette, your first few hours back. Oh, your screen might be frozen. I'm not sure if Livia, you can hear me, but I was wondering if you were thinking we could do soft gov. Oh, gone. So that's that
Yeah.
answer.
My internet is so horrible, but I hope. Can you hear me well?
I heard you.
Okay. Let's
Yes, I hear
try.
you.
Hopefully it'll work out. Yeah, so I put in the board finalizing cultural agreements because Anna Marie is going to be traveling on Tuesday, and she did some work on the agreement and raised a lot of great questions. So now it's going to be easy, I think, to just have a base of like mostly answering questions and putting in a format that makes sense rather than doing some of the most raw work that was hard to identify. So it's and then
Your connection is
yeah,
cutting
having
in
a
and
governance
out.
framework for Snap about it. Like I don't know if the snapshot should be just use the
Livia, your connection's not consistent. It's coming in and out. Oh. Okay. Maybe we move on and can ask Livia to update the board, and we could talk about maybe the things in SoftGov on the next. Well, we'll see. We'll see how her connection is when she comes back. Oh, hey, Livia. The connection might not be strong enough. You were coming in and out in the last few sentences.
I don't know where you stop hearing me, but just creating a framework for snapshot. Can you understand me?
Yeah, we heard that.
Okay, I'll be very brief, and maybe I can talk more with Zeptimus and the people that are already involved in the snapshot, like proposal making, and you temp your proposal. But then, yeah, work on that, and then prepare my session with the training. Then
Livia,
work on
Livia,
perhaps a
Livia,
minute ago.
Livia, I really can't hear the full sentence of what you're saying, so I don't even know what we're talking about. Can you move the issues to the sprint backlog? The connection is definitely really very.
Yeah, sorry about that.
It's okay. And I think we'll just move on from SoftGov. I know that there's a lot of critical to Commons upgrade. Can you also tag the ones in SoftGov that are critical to Commons upgrade? And we can have a review of all of the criticals to Commons upgrade on Wednesday on our next Stewards meeting. And then maybe we can also have some more discussion around it. Okay, Chewy, how are you feeling about comms?
Cam, I also have like horrible internet today. I've been missing most of this meeting. I've been updating the board, but I keep getting like kicked out. So please let me know if you run into the same issues as Libby was saying. But you can hear me okay so far, right?
Yep.
Okay, perfect. Well, I was saying that there are like 3 things that I feel that are critical to the commons grade, being the funding proposal, contributor index, and the content index. So I was working on updating these, and oh, where is it? I think it moved. Number 4 about the funding proposal. I added a link to the presentation that that I've been adding to like the agendas and where I've been making some notes. I also closed a couple of old issues. And I would also consider like this content map. I'm gonna pick up on the one that Zero was working on, so that we can put this together as in critical to the hatch as well. I mean, not the hatch, but to commons update. I just can't find the label.
Is it this one, number 52? Create a content map for TEC?
Yes. Yeah, I can't find the critical to commons upgrade.
Oh yeah,
label.
that's weird. Oh, I think it's because this is in the repository. Good point. This is in the repository for content distribution. I think I can add it pretty quickly. And we'll leave it fire engine red. Not sure it'll happen right away. It might take a little time. Okay. Wait, the content map is not critical to Commons upgrade. Chewy?
I'm sorry. What was that, Sam?
The content update, the content map is not critical to the Commons upgrade.
Well, I wanted to have it ready, but I guess, yeah, it's not something like necessary. So I just removed the label.
Okay, but I'll drop it here just to record that it's nice to have. Oopsie. Oops.
And what I was just about to add, but I don't know if it's going to be under the funding proposal, is just a contributor index. Like who do we have? Like what are they doing? Even if they're spending like an hour per week, just to have like a better idea of how many contributors we have. I feel that it's gonna help out a lot of the organization side of it. But would you consider this critical for Commons upgrade?
Funding for the working group funding? Yeah.
No, a contributor like index, like seeing like who is like contributing to Commons in any way, and just something that we're gonna need for the funding proposal, but I feel that it's also like its own thing.
Mm-hmm. Does it block the Commons upgrade? Can the Commons upgrade happen without that piece of work?
Hello, can you hear me, Ted?
Yeah. I'm just saying the criteria for a critical to Commons upgrade. Hey, Chewy. Yeah, I think it might be my connection, but I think it might be yours, since you said you were having problems. So the criteria for critical to Commons upgrade is really
okay. I can hear you now.
Okay. I'm going to try. The criteria for commons upgrade, critical to commons upgrade, is really, if this piece of work isn't done, we will not upgrade. And if this piece of work is done, that means we can continue to upgrade. We can continue to the upgrade. So I don't know where the index falls in for you, but if it's something that can happen after the commons upgrade, then it's probably a nice to have and not critical to commons upgrade. All right. I did have a question that I posted in the TEC Stewards. We used to keep track of how many contributors we had, active contributors we had, and we used to do that by how many people we praised, and we've stopped doing that. And I wonder if maybe Craig or Ivy have any ideas about, or Septimus, how we can estimate how many active contributors we have now. I mean, it's probably still through praise, but we're not doing it bi-weekly like we used to.
Yeah, hi, Tim. Seems like Griff probably would have the answer because the praise sheets aren't updated anymore. So it's likely like raw bot responses. Griff or Dan might know.
So we have the praise sheets still, but they're not going into the main praise, but there's still actually a spreadsheet that's the bot is feeding all of its praise into. And I can share the links somewhere if that's useful.
Yeah, I think it'd be great. I feel like the last number I shared was 450, and I've been sharing it for like 6 weeks. So I'm just curious how many contributors we have.
Yeah, getting the interesting. I mean, I guess I could create a tab in one of these spreadsheets that counts like the unique number of names in the praise and just like updates. And then because is that all you need is that number? You don't need the list of actual names.
I think it's unique names, yeah.
So you don't need the list of names, you just need the number of unique names.
It's an interesting piece of data, yeah.
Is there any other, I mean, while I'm jumping in there, is there any other data that you'd want? Would you want the list of names?
I have no purpose for it at this time.
Perfect. Then I'll do that during this call. And I'll put the answer in 891.
Awesome, Griff. I'll assign this to you. Thanks for doing that. All right. Hey, Chewy. Can you hear me? All right. Well, I think we covered everyone. Let's see what we have in Stewards, and then we have a bunch of other groups to sort of go through. Yeah, orientation we'll go through. We have a bunch of labels to go through too, and orientation is definitely one of them. Let me throw our repeating in here. Oops. And yeah, I would like to do the funding session. I also am planning to do another onboarding session. I would really love to update the high-level TEC roadmap, but I think it's going to be this sprint that it gets built in. And Zep, for our 2 votes, I'm going to leave them in the sprint backlog until we just resolve them. We know that they're ongoing and there's new steps, but I'll leave them here until we finally can close these issues.
Okay. Yeah, just a reminder.
And I'll add.
Oh,
go ahead.
Just a reminder to everyone, like the one transaction addresses, like the people who lost the addresses to change their address and put them to mint tokens. This is going to be available to vote in like an hour in Snapshot. So and it will end on Monday. We reschedule it to so it ends on Monday. So yeah, everyone vote.
So the snapshot vote is going to take place between today and Monday.
Yeah.
Could I get, I'd like to maybe put in a link for that, update the blog, because I don't think I ever had a link for that vote
Oh, it's posted.
location.
It's posted on Twitter and also on the forum thread. I make a comment with the link, but I can also DM you with the link.
And is there any way
Thank you.
to make the snapshot more available and accessible to the public in general? I think we need to either embed it within the website if possible, or at least add a link to the Gitbook and so on. So just making it more accessible.
That's a terrific idea, which I'm going to open an issue for, and while everyone continues to discuss that. So the idea would be essentially that there would be, you know, where we, a link to the snapshot that has all of our proposals, and that's where people would know to go to look for proposals that are in action or in voting currently, right?
Correct.
Is there someone that would like to take this on, or should we ask for help or see if there's target for a contributor for somebody to work on this?
Is Christopher still managing the website?
Yes.
Maybe.
Marcos
But-
told me yes.
Okay. Is the website the only place we put it? I feel like we're going to want to put it in a few more places. You know, like the footer that we have on the media blog, on the blog would be follow us on Twitter. Here's our Discord. Here's our Medium. Here's our Snapchat. But you know what I mean?
Yeah, definitely. I do think I would like to see more like activity on the website as well. I know that we've made a big push on the forum recently, and it worked really well, and we've gotten a lot of engagement. And I would like to see the same for the website.
Is that an initiative that you are interested in driving? Do you have some ideas for how to do that?
I mean, the big blocker is just access. I think Christopher has been one of the few people who've had access to managing the website, and so I'm not sure how to go about doing that.
Okay. Maybe we can separate these two issues, though. Maybe the first issue is promoting Snapshot, and the second issue is trying to get some like redoing the website in some strategic way.
Yeah, definitely. I can take over the at least getting the links on the social media platforms and within Gitbook and so on, making sure that we have links available to the public.
Okay. And maybe as part of transparency group can help make Snapshot more transparent to our community.
Yeah, definitely.
Okay.
But if we had an issue, like a smaller issue, like what exactly, maybe make it available. I'm just rambling. I think, yeah, we can do something.
So
we also have Zepti also created a video tutorial for using Snapshot. So I also put the Snapshot link in the description in that video.
If you think it's a pretty nice video, I haven't gotten a chance to watch it, but if you think it's a nice video, that's also a public good. I don't know. It might be a nice video to tweet or show off too, if you like it.
Yeah, it's going out with the vote today, the tweet about the vote today, so it's there.
So the objective of this is like make it easier for hatchers to find Snapshot because that way they can vote on proposals. And Nate, can I assign this to you? Do you want to take this and sort of come up with a few different things, and then we can work on how you put it on the website and whether it's Christopher that can do that?
Yeah, definitely. And my original idea for it was to start using Boardroom, but I kind of got some, pushback on it. But I don't know if how people feel about the use of Boardroom, or if we should go ahead and move forward with it, or because it does have an interface for Snapshot, as well as forum proposals. So, yeah, just want to hear your thoughts on that before as well.
Your thoughts on Boardroom?
Yeah.
Should we see if we have time at the end of this call? Because it looks like we might.
Sounds good.
Okay. If not, we could add it to the agenda for the next sprint, the next stewards call. By the way, I had an epiphany. I think maybe I can get some opinions here too. I think I'm going to separate the coordination from like the stewards council, where we're like talking about big subjects. And every week Wednesday would be the coordination, the stewards coordination. And then every other Thursday, where we're not doing the retrospective, we would have more like a council where we can really dig into like deep questions and have long discussions, and hopefully at the end have resolutions like we're going to take this action about this. But I feel like we're trying to do both in the same 1 hour period we have weekly, and it's getting squished. We're not getting to the coordination part. So I like the idea of alternating retrospective stewards council and still having the coordination every week, where we could still talk about things, but it's not our only one place that we have to do it. And some subjects that we have just take more time than we have available. Just sharing that. I'll probably more formally raise it on our stewards meeting this week, but I think it's one solution for one possible way that we can coordinate and also tackle big subjects together. So you also want to talk about website redesign or website improvements. Do you want to open an issue for that, and we could start tracking it? Is that something? It seems like we have a lot going on this sprint, Nate. Is it something that you feel is high priority and needs to be done this sprint?
I don't think it's high priority. I think it really needs to have consensus on how we want to approach the website, because I would like to see the website integrated within HubSpot as well. But like I said, access has been a problem. And so, if we want to do the embed with the forum as well, that would be really nice. And to have the snapshot along with it would be great. But that's not a immediate thing. I think the priority is just to get the links out there and making sure that all the immediate proposals have, people are aware of it and they know exactly where to go to vote on them.
Okay. Can you open an issue about the website, like having discussions around, and we could just leave it in the icebox just so it's there, and any ideas that you have, you could start to throw in there and people can contribute and we could come up with a pile of things. And then access is a problem. Christopher, I don't know if Christopher will continue to do the website for the TEC. So if he can't, then we should just find somebody else who maybe can. And if he can, then we can sort of ask when he's available to do it. I didn't realize that there was any issue. Was there something that didn't happen that needed to happen?
Not that I know of. I think that, we just had ideas of, we've bounced ideas around about utilizing the website more often, but not many actions have been taken. So we were just curious about that.
Yeah, I know that we had sort of like website improvements. Website bug fixes. So here's sort of like, just seems like everything's closed already. And then there's, yeah, I think, I don't know, maybe we need to have like a tighter sync on that. Like if there is something to do, then I think he might be able to do it. But yeah, I'm not 100% sure actually right now.
Could I just add,
Sure,
sorry,
Katie.
just to add to that issue, Nate, if you are making an issue out of that, would y'all think that adding disability access, that would also be something later we can flesh out, but just as a
That's a great
topic
idea.
in terms of upgrading, or I mean, revamping the website or whatever.
Yeah, that's definitely something that should be already in there, and something that should be associated with all of our images and text and stuff like that. Any type of disability, protocol that it should already be a part of the website. And if it's not, we need to make that a priority. I know Aloysius mentioned it in maybe one of the stewards calls before, and so I do think that is a high priority.
Yeah.
Cool. Nate, is it you opening it or Katie, do you want to open it?
I'm opening it now.
Awesome. And you could drop it in the Epic for website improvements.
Sounds good.
Cool. All right. All right. Well, we're done with all of our working groups. Now let's go through some of the initiatives. Onboarding is always one I'll bring. I don't know, Katie, do you like this issue? Should we get rid of these that make incubator a fun place?
I don't think you need to get rid of them. But by the way, I was rapidly making some new issues and there's no tags on them. So if you filter by me, you'll see a whole bunch of new stuff.
Sure. Let's start with these maybe, and then we'll go to those. So I just brought in the repeating, and then there's 3 more here. More 4 contributor issues, FAQ, forum post for orientation, and an onboarding video that I've committed to make, which I will also commit to do this sprint with Zeptimus's help. Thanks, Zep. And what about these 2, Katie?
Let's see. Yeah, I think that the FAQ is something that I've been doing sort of slowly by going through various existing posts. So that can still be on the radar, but it's not top of the list, honestly, because I'm doing other things. And I think more important right now are some other things related to creating a working group and actually creating video. This one, the Zen Hub friendly, what was this one? Yeah, right. Okay. I'm sorry. Could you repeat that?
Yeah, it's just having more 4 contributor issues, and I added help needed so other people can also add issues that are good for contributors or for first users.
Yeah.
People.
Right. Okay.
All right. So here's the new issues that you've opened. I'll bring the weekly update in and also maybe make it repeating.
Yeah. And, I didn't put in any labels, so.
Okay, and you're... I'm going to get a lot of labels. Okay, working group new contributors wish list. Is that in this sprint?
Yeah, so that's active right now. That's the one I just asked for that we kind of ran out of time for. So all you stewards out there listening, you know what? I should drop the link in there. I didn't do that yet. If we could get some, I think some folks posted, but if we could get the rest of that wish list, then I can start to distribute it to contributors.
Okay. Intro to TEC video. What's this?
And that one can be a repeat, obviously, the wish list. Right. So I was thinking as I was chatting with Zepti today and you a bit that I could do, we were talking about various videos, orientation videos and the like, but really more maybe fundamental seemed like an introductory type video of information that I give usually in the orientation sessions. So a very clean, quick, straightforward, image-based video of a couple of minutes where I talk about the MVV, the working groups, and just some using pretty much things like all of the links I usually use for orientation I would put in this video. So showing the tools, showing the various web pages like the working groups and stuff like that. What do you think?
I like the idea a lot, actually. I think it solves the problem of the people who aren't able to join. And somebody recently said that I was a school teacher and all of our calls were at the time that he's teaching school.
Yes. Yes.
Yeah,
In
I think
fact,
that-
that was Steve Wright, I think, Nate. Which very cool. He wanted to sync with you in person, which I thought was really cool, Nate, just as an aside. But okay, great. That's the idea, to catch new contributors who can't make it to meetings. And also it could be a video we'll put on potentially on the website. I don't know, but at least on YouTube, that would be a good reference point.
Okay, so it's like an orientation to the TEC. Oh no, you're cutting up. Is it me? Hello?
No, I hear you well, Tam.
Okay.
It's me. I'll just do thumbs up.
Okay. Discord bot with cues to direct new members.
Okay, so in our potential new working group, Eduardo was syncing with Vi and a couple of us others about creating a bot on Discord that would easily bring so to avoid, to create better direction more simply by collecting little bits of information that would lead them directly to where they need to go. We're going to hash that out next Monday, exactly what that information will be, but it will help lead them to either different working groups or what we're calling pods. So that's so Vi and Edo are kind of in the loop on that, and Anna Marie and Nick.
Is that for this sprint?
Yes, I'd say so. Yes, that'll be quick.
Okay. And community working group, is that a name that you guys are officially going to use?
I think that's what we're leaning towards, yeah, because the idea, and so now we get a chance to talk about it to everybody, is the idea is that instead of us developing just an orientation working group, that this would incorporate more than just new contributors. It would incorporate community building at large, so that it would help in various capacities for contributors all across their time in the community. And in particular, we were thinking about being involved in, or seeing if we could be involved in, the TEC Lounge as a place for current contributors where they want to talk about other things, or even the TE Scouts kind of thing, so that we would be basically all about community building, but also, of course, orientation. So the whole trajectory of your community experience.
Okay. It's pretty cool. It's new. I've heard a little about it, but I'm excited that it's coming together. Eduardo, do you want to share some thoughts as well, since I feel like you're deeply involved in it?
Yeah. The idea for also, as it's exactly what Suga mentioned, I added a few points to the issue just to understand the point 3, 4, and 5, just to sort of have like all the initiatives that we have that could be related to community building, to take in consideration that we can integrate it better in a way that we make, or we try to make everyone involved in the things. It could be for Params, as an example, like you are now launching the Params September. Okay, so how we can integrate this with the rest of the community, so the community is well aware of it, besides the effort that Comms does. So TC Lounge also for as an initiative that Juanca is taking on Fridays. But the idea is to, it's a nice space to sort of make an integration between newcomers, oldcomers, and people who just are like out of the loop, they have been away for 5 months or 2 months. Just join in and just hang out, and through this dynamization of the space, we can foster relationships that can become a contribution, can become just someone who wants to learn or wants to be part of Graviton. So the idea is to have this community working group tackling these things. And the first steps that we're going to take is to new members, and how we can sort of do that. That's like one of the first steps we're taking, and see how we can bring some light to it. So yeah, that's my thoughts on it.
Yeah, and of course, as he said at the end, our first interest right now, which I think is quite pressing, is new members, of course, right? But also, and I wanted to ask you this all meeting long, so I'm excited to get to ask this. Is it critical to the upgrade for us to create this working group? Is that something that technically needs?
So you broke up a little at the end, but the criteria for critical to commons upgrade is if it doesn't happen, we cannot do the commons upgrade. So my feeling
Right, I
is
guess
that
it's the other way around. Okay.
so my feeling is that it'd be nice to have, nice to do before, but I don't think if it's not done, we would say, no, we're not going to upgrade yet. So it's a new idea, a new working group. We do have a little time, so I don't want to do round robin and give everyone 2 minutes because that would be 30 minutes. But maybe I'd love to open the floor for some more thoughts and ideas and around community. So it's community building, so new people and existing people, and just trying to build community based on like our culture and our soft gov principles. Would anyone else like to share thoughts about a community working group? Okay.
I think it's interesting, and also because like yeah, the TEC lounges, I am leading them, but I also want that to be more of a like a community initiative, and I have been feeling in the last times that like there's like no much people joining, and actually I was thinking that maybe today I wouldn't be able to do it, so I am saying if anyone wants to carry that flag today, it would be great to have the TC lounges. And also I want to praise Chewy for the common store proposal. I have been reading it and I think it's really good, and I think it would be super useful for all the working groups. So yeah, great work, Chewy. And all the commons team.
Yeah, regarding the community building working group, I think it's an amazing idea. I don't know how it's not already built. Like Anna Marie, Katie, Nick, there is a lot of people working in there. Nate, and yeah, I think definitely it should be done. Like, yeah.
I think this can be neat, and I think since Hatchet Outreach has been dissolved, maybe like the community working group can step up, and with regard to onboarding, it can also help in keeping track of people, maybe like who is available when or something like that. I think that also comes under community, so that we can have like easier communication and collaboration. I think that is also something that this working group can handle. And the meme parties, I think sometimes I think always Griff leads them. So we need to like there are more people participating or slash leading the party, something like that. That would be neat.
Thanks for sharing that, Vines Optimus. Yeah, I'm a big fan of it actually too, because there is a need for Hatcher Relations, which is a new GitHub issue tag, because Hatcher Outreach closed, but there still seems to be a need to talk directly to Hatchers and have some focus there. All right, cool.
Yeah. Just one last thought, sorry. It's the same with, for me, as I mentioned, the Params, September, and certain other things that has aroused. Simple stuff like handling the swag tokens and so on. I think there will always an execution part of relationships with people of the community that needs to be taken sometimes individually, sometimes in groups or any other form. that comms, I think, sometimes cannot handle because of it's just execution. It's not necessarily strategy, and it's more personal rather than through social media or media channels. So the community working group is more about this kind of execution, keeping everyone on the same kind of loop. So yeah, that's it. Back to you, Tom.
Cool. Thanks. Okay, I see I have this Hatch Outreach Weekly Discord auto post that maybe, Vi, you've already done this? I'm not sure, actually. I don't think I saw it this Wednesday, but I will check. I'll follow up on that with you actually later. Maybe I can just tag you in this. No, you have somewhere instructions on how we can do this. And what's holding me is like finding those instructions on how to do this myself. I have to go back and try to find them.
If people have time, I could maybe we could have a sync up with whoever is willing to edit these messages. I could demonstrate that, or I have written some documentation in the repository where this is hosted that can also be read up. I think I did remove the Hatch Outreach working group call, but I'll do that now.
Okay, yeah, that would be awesome. I feel like this comes up and there's not a clean way to, I know you made it so that everyone can edit these ourselves. I actually maybe wouldn't mind doing it with you. I know we have a sync coming up, and if we could do it together, then I could put it somewhere where I'll remember to point to it later. Or maybe Gitbook's not the right place. I don't know what the right place is for this. It's sort of like administrative, something like infra administrative.
I think like we need a Gitbook for handling things in the TEC, such as platforms and services. I think we could also write down things, specific things like say uh, who has access to a certain multisig, or who has access to a certain DAO that's controlling things in the TEC. I think we could all document all of that information in one place so that in future it's easier for everyone to use it.
Yeah, I agree that could be in the Git book. I think it makes sense. And it's quite easy to update often if we need to.
So I just want to say that I've been using my TEC source, which is my own little Git book that I have for active documents within the TEC, as well as like things like the access documents. I was hoping we could maybe just transfer it over to the token engineering Git book side, but as a separate page, and that way we can have just like start using it. I think it's very useful. I use it all the time, but I know that others may not use it as much.
Do you want to drop a link? And maybe open an issue and drop a link and have the issue be, how can I merge this into our Gitbook?
Yeah, sounds good.
Yeah, I remember you had some really great stuff in there, although I thought we moved a lot. I thought a lot of it was moved. I haven't gone back there. I didn't know you were still maintaining it. Cool. Okay. Swag Shop is a great example too, actually. I mean, it's documented, but it's a folder that lives in my G Drive, and it's, maybe not. Is there someone that wants to take this on as an issue and sort of be the person that can drive it? Anyone? Anyone interested in doing documentation?
I can
Nobody?
do the one for swag shop. Or yeah, maybe you can assign this anytime. Since
I can document the bots and everything about the Discord. And whatever I'm handling.
Oh, cool. Okay. So, Ivy. Bye. And Ivy, is it is it okay if I assign it to you and you can work with Vi too to put it into like to manage all the pieces?
Sure.
Yay,
I'll
thank
take it.
you. Ivy. I don't know that it has to be the sprint. I'm going to open up, like, is this something that needs to go into this sprint? Question mark. Oops. Is it something that we have time for this sprint? Ivy, how are you feeling about that? And Vi, how are you feeling about that? I know you might still be wrapping up some things.
I think we could. I could do my part. I don't know if we can document all of it in this sprint, but we could start working on it this sprint.
Cool, yay. All right, excellent.
Yeah, for me.
All right, excellent. Katie, we finished orientation, right? Or we didn't go on that tangent? Yeah, we finished your things in orientation. Okay. Let me see that there's some more. There's also Hatcher relations, which is a new issue. Let's see what we have here. Airdrop to village. Okay, so we have an issue. I'll explain it, and I think we'll bring it into the sprint. People who have participated in building the TEC but haven't participated in the funding didn't receive a swag tech airdrop because of the mechanism that we're using to determine the hatchers. We were using the hatch DApp itself, spitting out the addresses. So we'll take a look at a list and merge it with the list of hatchers and anyone that has TECH tokens that hasn't gotten a swag tech airdrop yet. I'm suggesting actually that when we look at the builders list that haven't received a swag tech airdrop, we maybe have some sort of like cutoff for the long tail. So, maybe it's, 20 and up impact hours or something like that. So we don't end up, just sending it to everyone, even someone who had one impact hour. So that was my thinking there. And Ivy, Eduardo offered to lead it.
That is correct. I'm on it. So yeah, it should be for the sprint.
Okay, that was my next question. Awesome, thanks. All right, source cred. Let's try source cred. Anything in source cred? Wait, how do you spell source cred? Oh no.
Yeah, I need to catch up a little bit there, but last conversation we had was just seeing what were the steps needed for this reward systems proposal that is up there. So I think Mateo has some progress in it, but I have to check with him.
Okay, cool. And we have two things for Santi: data analysis for source cred and integration with praise, and source cred data review session. Are these still?
We have to check. We have to check on that. I don't know if those are outdated or we still need to go over them. I will have to discuss that with Mateo and with Libby next week.
Okay. All right. Orientation TEC scouts. Anything for scouts? I feel like they might have a label too. Yes. Framework for projects proposals and bringing TE Lounge to other communities. Eduardo, these are both yours?
Yes. So we had a think on bringing TEC Lounge to the communities with Nate and Shui this week. As the same goes for the framework for project proposal, which is the post on the forum. So on that, I will just take feedback that was given there and update the proposal. So both will be for next sprint. Yes.
Cool, excellent. Infra ops, maybe we'll have a look there. I think we captured them already. Okay, that's a Discord automatic call announcements. Oh, is this? Oh, these are two other changes, actually. Maybe, yeah, you probably did this already, Vi. It was the transparency and the legal biweeklies.
Yeah, those two haven't been done yet.
Oh, cool. We could do them all together then. Okay, I'll bring it into this sprint so we could do those two and the Hatch outreach together.
So I wanted to ask about people's feelings about the sesh bot that I proposed during the sprint retrospective. Yeah, I just wanted to ask about that. See if anybody would be interested in having that.
I don't know what it is, but I think we're very close to wrapping this up. And can we leave it to the boardroom and sesh bot as topics for at the end of when we finish? Because I think we're going to finish with time for both of those subjects, Nate.
Sounds good.
Other languages and operations. Okay. Oh, other languages. This was a Ivy initiative. Translation of
Yeah, just to give you an update, what we talked, Tam, I'm just gonna open an issue for this, and it's gonna be open for contributors, but I still have to choose the maybe at least 3 articles that we want to be translated, and I'm gonna check that on the content map that Shui and Zero is developing, and then yeah, maybe I can get some advice if these are the best articles that we want to be translated, and maybe place them on Gitbook.
Cool.
That's my update.
Cool. Are you doing more work on it this sprint?
Yes,
Okay.
I will.
All right, and then let's see what operations has. Document. Okay, so just the new one that we added. Cool. Now there's 2 that I added. So this is of the ones that are like the initial buy had 4 different potential scenarios with open call for other scenarios, and this is the one for ideation around value-aligned early investors. I've started talking about this with both Angela and YGG, especially around people who are already investing in the Token Engineering Academy, who might be very useful not only to have more skin in the game with the TEC, but who would also be very value aligned. So there just seems to be some thinking left to do, or a lot of thinking left to do around this, and feeling out whether or not they're interested in participating. So that's in progress, soft. And oh, nice, Mitch. So I'm gonna take this. I'd love if anyone has other ideas around who the TEC would like to have as early investors, because not only, I mean, I think we should also start thinking about not only just sort of making publicity around this new token, but also to strategically try to bring people into the TEC once we go live. So there's just a lot of more thinking to do around there yet. You can see it's not really fully formed in my mind, but the idea of this initial buy attracting early investors got me thinking, oh, we should be focusing some effort and energy there anyway. At least the same kind of effort or similar energy that we output for bringing hatchers into the TEC. There's some people, some groups, some organizations that are so strategically aligned with us, and maybe we should make the same kind of effort to bring them into the TEC at an early period.
Do we have an intention to create a sort of a pitch kind of strategy or an idea of where we draw the line in the boundaries that we feel comfortable with regarding investors and so on? Like it could be nice to have, at least in this document or in this issue, to have outlined I don't know if it's a community decision. I don't know if it's a Hatcher's decision. I don't know if it's Stewards' decision to outline these boundaries in order to outreach possible investors. But I think it could be a nice conversation and a nice community exercise to have, at least, to see how do we feel about it and if we want to have this conversation, of course, so, or like a pitch.
Yeah. No, I think that there's two sides to it, right? There's like, are we interested and are they interested? So there's sort of like feeling out both at the same time. Like, are we interested? How interested? Well, so there's two things, right? There's the initial buy, but then there's just like early bonding curve, right? Like, so encouraging people to interact with the bonding curve earlier rather than later, if you know what I mean. So there's two angles. For the question of the initial buy, it's sort of like, we need to see how interested we are. We need to see how interested there are other early investors might be, and then sort of see if there's a match. But in any case, we should have, start thinking about the material for, pitching the TECs, not necessarily maybe it is the right way to phrase it. If you look at other, there's many token sale one pagers that you could look at that have a sort of idea for like very short summary of what the TEC is and the people that are working on it and the projects that are associated with it. So there might be I'm thinking there's a use in that for attracting early investors, and it might be something that's interesting for a wider audience as well.
Does more funds for early investors equal less funds for Reward DAO and other initiatives such as the liquidity mining?
I don't know. No, I don't know. There's no answer to that question yet. It's like it's a decision that has to be made. But the early investors, I just want to maybe make it very, very clear. It started with this idea of this initial buy. But let's say the community says we don't want to attract, we don't want to do, we don't want to have agreements with particular strategically aligned investors. They can buy it on the bonding curve. Still, it would be very interesting for us to promote ourselves and why they should participate in the TEC. Even if it ends up being outside the scope of the initial buy-in, it would still be very useful for us to have compelling reasons why people would want to participate in the TEC. So it's sort of, we should do the work anyway, and then we can do the work and see where there is alignment between the two parties.
Yeah, my feeling is that just a lot of things feel like conversations are happening behind the scenes rather than with the community. And so like with this issue in particular. And so like, I would like to see more transparency around it and understand, who's asking and who's interested and all that good stuff. Yeah.
So right now there's no news. So that's why you're not seeing anything. There's, I asked Angela if she had interest, because Angela was the one who sort of brought up this idea of having investors in the TC and the Hatch, which we ended up not doing. And she shared that it could be interesting to people that are supporting the Token Engineering Academy. They have a new initiative to do a foundations course. And I thought, wow, that'd be great. Let's start figuring out how to have those conversations. So there's nothing yet,
If we want to do this, I think it would be best to do the initial buy and then hold for a month and see who the coolest people are. Like I wouldn't necessarily commit to people right away because the TEC's price is actually like mathematically guaranteed to at worst case be the same or better than what we buy it at. So it's more valuable to sell it to people later at a profit, at a small profit, where it's a win-win, if this idea is palatable to the community, then I won't even try to get the partners in advance. It'd be like, we're going to set aside X number of dollars into a partnership DAO, and that DAO is going to go find people who were missed out, and find a strategic partnership DAO, right? But I don't think we should try to find exactly who it is or put that to the community. I think that should be a working group decision.
So I have a question exactly as you mentioned, the working group decision. So if things like this will affect the community, where is the point where a working group sort of makes a decision, or where is the point where we have to go back to the community and make a consensus on it? Like, is there any guideline on these kind of processes? Because I feel there will be coming certain things that probably, let's say, imagine community working group will take strategies for outreaching other communities or reaching investors. I don't know who, but then if that decision or that the result of that decision affects the community, I think it's a little bit unfair for the community to not be at least aware of this. So I don't know, like, how do we handle these kind of things?
The transparency. I really want to caution everyone here, because like micromanaging the decisions through a DAO doesn't work. Like, it just will never work. We can't have so many details in our large decisions. We need to push the decision-making, the details to the edges, and just talk about the bigger scope in our macroeconomic decisions. We don't tell David what to tweet on our Twitter, but we control where funds go and when and to who, and then we trust them to actually engage and be transparent about it. We build structures around it so that there's accountability and trust. We could build a system that's proposed. What would be preferred if there's a strategic partnership DAO? What I would say is there's got to be someone or a group of people who are leading it, and they propose something like, hey, we buy into the bonding curve, we sell it for 10% profit, all of the money goes into the funding pool, and we find the best partners that we can find that we think are strategically aligned with the TC. And that's it. And then they find out who those partners are. They talk, they make negotiations, and, it'll be like a balancer, or maybe it'll be the TE Academy itself. Who knows? But yeah, I don't know if it's a good idea or a bad idea to do it all. But what I do know is that if we set precedent with like all of these details in our decisions, we're going to go down the wrong path for DAOs.
Good food for thought. One of my thinking is that it's hard to, without knowing who the funds might be, or who the partners might be, I feel like it's hard for a community to approve a decision like that. Like if we said it was Ocean Protocol, or it was Balancer, it was one of, I feel like people would be like, yeah, we really want them affiliated, and we want them participating, and we want them, promoting the TEC. But if the idea of a fund that hasn't been allocated yet might be harder for people to support.
The problem is that if we allocate it, if we try to find a partner now, and they won't make a deal if we don't even know what the price is. I mean, we can't.
Yeah.
So, and we also don't know. I mean, it would be better if it were more competitive. Like, what if the group makes a promise of at least 10% profit on the purchase, right? And then it goes to a strategic partner, and then they shop around and they find there's a lot of demand. They can charge 20% and still give it to someone really good. It's better that we let them have that power.
There's so much thinking left to do through this.
Thank you for the answers, though.
Okay. All right. I didn't mean for this to take up so much time, but it was an important subject, so thanks for that. There's another one. So I'm really interested in continuing to have these conversations and to ask these questions and to go through advice process and to sort of hear lots of different thoughts on it. It starts with like this initial buy, but I think it also, the scope is greater than the initial buy now, actually, for me. Although that's probably that's the most time constrained one. And the idea of a partnership DAO is compelling as well. Okay, liquidity for secondary markets. Mitch isn't here, so I won't. Well, won't put it in the product backlog. Did Mitch assign himself to this, or did I assign it to him? Oh, great, he's self-assigned. I love it. I'm putting it in the sprint backlog. Mitch is super interested in that idea. All right, I think we went through everything. I'm just gonna have a quick look and see if we went through, if there's anything with no label. No website integrating. Okay, cool. All right, that's it. That's our sprint. Wow, we did it. We did it. Everyone pat yourself on the back. We have 5 minutes. Seshbot or Boardroom? Which one do you want to do, Nate?
Boardroom's more important. I just want to get some clarification around that because I wasn't sure if people would be interested in that type of interface to use for Snapshot and for I set it up so it shows all of the forum thread for the proposals and our snapshot. The question is, will we use it? The problem, one of the blockers is that multi-safe is not currently hasn't currently integrated XDAI, so we can't use any type of multi-sig for it. And if we did use a treasury for it, you know, that's kind of the big use case for Boardroom, is managing a treasury. And I think that, you know, if we're using alternative solutions, then maybe not going forward with it. But I just wanted to hear other people's opinions.
Is there anyone specific? I don't know Boardroom that well, so I can't chime in here.
No one specific. I just, you know, throwing it out to anybody who has any familiarity with it. It's basically just
I just have a quick. Sorry, yeah, I just have a quick thought. Can you guys hear me well now?
Yeah.
Maybe better without the video. Yeah, it related to what Griff was speaking about and something I was trying to say when the internet wasn't working is that I think we need to find a balance between like having all of the working groups managed by Boardroom and having so many options of voting systems to choose from to look for the most optimal solution instead of the most processual one. Like it feels like now using the snapshot only for signaling when something already passed in the forum, something is already being discussed in the forum and will have to be voted in the DAO. It feels like an extra process that maybe doesn't need to be there. So it would be cool to maybe talk about this, Nate, and maybe it can be one of the topics of SoftGov, like what are the things that we actually need and how are these tools helping us in a way that everything is aligned with each other, like things are connected instead of like things creating more steps than our attention capacity can hold.
Yeah, I agree with that. The only reason I got really excited about Boardroom is because I know that Gnosis is really dedicated to creating this kind of governance interface for DAOs, and they're using Boardroom for that and developing on it. And I think that in the future it will be the place for governance for DAOs to occur. And I just really like what they're doing, and I think in the future it'll be the tool that we use.
Yeah, for sure. No, I'm super excited to see what we do with it, but just keeping that in mind.
Yeah, I agree. Right now, it doesn't provide a lot of utility for us at the moment, outside of what we have currently. So, yeah.
Yeah, I just want to say like the reason we doing snapshot and then HatchDAO vote is just because if a vote didn't pass on snapshot, then there's no reason to make it on the HatchDAO where you have to pay 1K. So yeah, it's to make sure like no one lose 1K.
Thank you, everybody.
Cool. So I guess that means we're not using Boardroom now yet, but we may in the future. Thanks for doing the research on it, Nate. All right, thanks everyone. Our Sprint 17 is born. I hope everyone has a great weekend. We're at the top of the hour, so we won't get to tell each other the great things we're doing this weekend. But if you want to drop it in the Stewards channel, share what you're doing this weekend, feel free.